Hi, my name is Dana Arnett, co-host of Wicked Marketing, along with my partner, Carlos Sapene. You can find more information about us and our business on LinkedIn, or if you have any questions, email us at info@wickedbionic.com. Subscribe to Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We're also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. Thanks for listening. Hi, everyone. I'm Dana.
And I'm Carlos.
Welcome to our podcast. We really wanted to talk. We're so excited to talk to everyone about all that's going on and working with together in communities and being able to stay connected. And Carlos and I have been talking a lot, almost every day, about how to keep our communities and what effect we can have as marketers to be able to advance that connection.
Yeah, so I think everybody, because of what we've been going through with COVID-19 and the isolation, there's a lot of people that are going back to sort of this root place of supporting their local community, making sure that the small businesses in their area are supported, their local stores, their brick and mortar places. It's sort of like we're all in this together type situation. And what we try to do is look at it from the other perspective. So yes, the community is looking to support small businesses and medium-sized businesses in their area that provide services to their local community. But for business owners, which are probably most of our audience that are listening to this, right? Whether you're a small or medium-sized business owner, it's about how you can, I don't want to say capitalize, but sort of understand and empower your business through what the community is doing. So the best way that we think that you can do that is by having a way to give back to the community.
Right.
So always acknowledging that we're going through a process, that we are isolated, but that you appreciate what the community is doing for you, but you can show your appreciation by doing certain initiatives, which we can talk about through this, in order to show your support for the community and bringing everybody together.
I think, it's like, on the real side, I was riding my bicycle down the street and you run in the morning and you see the same thing. And we see it's heartbreaking when you're driving in your community and you see what's closed and you don't know if they're going to come back, the yoga studio or the small restaurant or, the small clothing store. And so what I found is this, God, I hope they come back. And then I thought, well, how will I know if they're back? How will I know that they're here? I've got the restaurants with the, dine in, no dine in, but takeout only. But these other stores that really are an infrastructure to where I live and where you live as well, we're different communities. I think it's so that need to not only for us to find out, but for them to be able to share. Not everybody has the vehicle or the tools, to be able to update their website always or send out a Facebook blast and hear everybody in the neighborhood know what's going on with them. So I think it's so important to be heard and to let people know where you are at.
Well, and I think from that perspective too, like you were saying, my cousin and I went for a walk this week, and there is a few stores on our way to the corner store that we see all the time. And it was sad to see that one of them was closing. They were in there wrapping everything up. And the sign outside said closed for good. Right.
Oh, what kind of store was that?
It was a ophthalmologist, right? So he had like all of his glasses. I never went in there, but it was so sad. It was very heartbreaking. It was him and his girlfriend, the ophthalmologist and his girlfriend, wrapping everything up and sort of, getting ready to move out. Yeah. And that's exactly how I felt, right? So I think what we're trying to say to people is that you're not alone in this, right? So not only is your community in it with you and wanting to support you, but so is a community of businesses around you, right? So so a lot of businesses are coming up with creative ways to stay connected with their audience and to give back to their audience. We've talked about some of them in the past, like Dana has a business owner friend that has a winery. And what they're doing is they're doing wine tasting, virtual Zoom wine tastings, right? So they send you the bottles of wine and you're in a Zoom and you wine taste with them.
And they tell you the pairing so you can buy the cheese ahead of time. So you all actually feel like you're doing the same thing. It's pretty cool, right?
We have a client, HomeSom, that is doing meals that you can pick up.
So great.
So great. Like they make these amazing meal kits where there used to be more of a gathering, cater type gathering. So they're doing the meal kits for you to go pick them up. So those are ways to find ways to connect with your community, to modernize your business, to leverage things like Zoom, like Instagram Live, like TikTok, right? To get your business out there in a way that's new and exciting and that can drive a new line of business for whatever your business type is, right? So there's friends of mine that are accountants that are doing just live Zooms to help people understand how the effects of the PPP program is going to affect their business, or how the late filing of the taxes is going to affect their overall tax filings. So what it is it's not the time to panic and go into your shell and sort of collect yourself and hide. It is the time to figure out how your business is going to evolve. And part of figuring
and serve, right? I mean, it's almost a spiritual thing, because we talk about it in our business as well. It's like, where am I going to focus? If I got to focus on being of service still, as opposed to focus in the fear, we become small and we stay small. But if we think, how can we serve our clients and potential clients, that seems to keep us lifted,
Yeah. And to me, that process, that's a great point you're making, is the easiest way to figure it out is identify your fear and then go against it. Right.
Yeah, we talk contrary action. Contrary action to the fear.
Yeah. So identify what your fear is. So one of the things that Dana and I have been talking about is, how do we get business owners not only to work with the community, but to work with each other, right? Exactly. Because the point is, one of the fears of business is that competition, right? Competing with other people in your area. So if you have a brick and mortar store, you want the foot traffic to come into your store. What you fail to realize sometimes is that by bringing more foot traffic or connecting with more people, you have more of a chance of getting those people to purchase from you, of getting those people to become a new customer and discover your brand. So
especially now, Carlos, am I right? Because it's also like, just the word, when you said the word competition, it kind of rankled me, because I'm like, I don't like, nothing feels competitive like it used to, it seems like a dirty word to say, oh, my competition, my dry cleaner competition down the street.
Well, let's talk about competition, right? Who are you competing with? Right now, you're competing with yourself by placing all your products on Amazon, right? Because Amazon just opens it up for everybody to compete with you, and whoever has the most money and whoever has the most access, those are the people that are going to succeed there. So that's really, you're already in that competition. So why not identify local businesses that you can work with that maybe are not necessarily competitive, but are something that can
complementary
to your brand, right? So if I am a local juice store, maybe there is something that I can do with my local vitamin shop, right? Because it is in the health world. Like, how do we join together? Maybe we share mailing lists. Maybe we do an email for each other, right? We do that exchange where you don't actually have to share your mailing list, but you do a mailing on behalf and they do a mailing on behalf. Or maybe we create a package together of content to sell, right? Like a health basket, a health kit.
With a spa certificate from the masseuse. You had said that, and I thought that was the juice guy, the spa guy, and the vitamin guy. There's a basket that's created. You share that basket cost, and then there's a great offer.
Then your messaging is all around supporting your local community, right? So there's a chance to support 3 businesses or 4 businesses in your local community. And this is a thing that doesn't normally happen, right? Because people have this this focus of just working on their business. But if we create the vehicles in order for those connections to exist and happen at a community level, then we're really giving back to the community. Then we're also gaining for ourselves, right?
And
So
revenue,
it's revenue,
right?
it's mutual benefit. Um, it's really giving that opportunity for the community to not only find out that you're still open, find out that you're connecting with them, find out that you have these offers for them, but telling the community that you're willing to work together with them to keep the community going. Like I was mentioning that ophthalmologist closing, never walked in there. Felt so awful that I started thinking, what could I have done to help these guys
so
stay
true.
open?
So true.
Because now you drive around, and here in LA, there's so many places now that are for lease, that are empty. And is this really the community that we want to live in going forward? I don't think so. I think the community wants to save those businesses.
We do. And, like I said, when I ride my bicycle down and I think, wow, they just opened a month before COVID. They just opened in January. Who the hell's and whose dream, right? You have this dream. I want to open this coffee bar. I want to open this store. I want to have a clothing store in Marina Del Rey. And then this happens. And where does that dream go? And how many people, really small businesses, have the kind of funding to hold on when they haven't even established themselves yet?
Exactly.
That to me is like, that's the dream killer. And I think, Carlos, I liked what you said, because I saw it in a new light. By joining with fellow businesses and offering something together as a group that makes sense, that's cohesive. What it does is it also shows your community that you're willing to partner. You're willing to support your guy down the street, and he supports you. It really is not just one-sided then. It's really, it's really an opportunity for everybody to be together.
And it's interesting, right? Because our relationship with our local community vendors is not the same relationship as when you're buying online, right? So I have my local guy at my juice store that I go to get my smoothies at, that I know by name. He knows the protein powder that I buy. He knows, like they have a frequent buyer program. He's always reminding me of my, but it's like, you have a personal relationship. Now that relationship right now is strained because I don't know naturally if they're open all the time. I don't know what the new hours are. I don't know what the limitations are. So one of the things that you can do is, instead of being scared of working with other businesses, and this is an initiative that Dana and I are actually working on and releasing now, called Aggregate Ads, and it's going to be it is at aggregateads.com, is the ability, because we are in the media placement, advertising, and marketing space, is providing the ability to business owners to work together with their marketing dollars. So
let's say I'm a dry cleaner. Why don't you give it by example, Carlos? I'm a local dry cleaner. Tell me what Aggregate Ads is doing.
So even before I give the example, what I want to say is that one of the biggest fears that people have right now is, do I even have the money to advertise, right? Do I even have, and the question is, are you thinking about advertising the right way, right? So one of the benefits that has come from the advent of digital is your ability to micro-target, to really focus on your community and be able to reach the people within your community. So if your marketing budget, let's say, was $3,000 a month in the past, instead of spending $3,000 trying to reach everyone in LA, you could spend those $3,000 or part of those $3,000 in messaging people locally. The other thing is, if you had $500, right? Let's say you really
that's probably more realistic for a small business.
For a small business, right? Like $500 a month. So $500 a month, let's say, reaches, 10,000 people in your area, and whatever area you're in. However, if you're able to pool your $500 with 10 other businesses, that's $5,000. And the way that the reach in advertising works is it's exponential. It's not multiples, it's exponential. So Having 10 times the budget doesn't mean you reach 10 times the people. It means you may reach 100 or 200 or 300 or 400% more people. So the way that that works, and the way that aggregate ads work, is if you are, what did you say, a laundromat?
Dry cleaner.
A dry cleaner. If you're a dry cleaner in an area, you could get together with businesses in your area. So not necessarily other dry cleaners, right? Although that may work in places like restaurants, where you could get a Mexican restaurant, an Indian restaurant,
Sushi bar.
sushi bar, all sorts of restaurants, and get together into an aggregate ad. But if you're the dry cleaner, maybe you are near the juice place, and that's near this restaurant and a gym, although gyms are closed, or you're the GNC, the local GNC or vitamin shop that you have right there, and you guys pool your money together to create a larger marketing pool, and then you create an advertising that showcases everybody, right? And then that advertising gets put out to the local area so that they can see all these businesses that are together open right now. They're in the same area, and you can get all these services. So you're maximizing your reach, you're maximizing your engagement. You're also, if there is one business there that drives intent, meaning that a person sees it and goes like, oh yeah, I wanted that juice, right? That creates something called momentum in marketing, meaning there's an intent to move forward and do a purchase. There's an intent to move forward and connect with that business. And by virtue of being in the same environment as that business is, you open yourself up to take part in that momentum, right? So if I'm already going to the juice shop, oh yeah, but the dry cleaners is next to it, I'm just going to bring my dry clean with when I get my juice, right? The other thing is, if that dry clean is offering a special for locals, right? Like within the ad, it's like 20% off for locals if you live in this zip code, right? Or these couple of zip codes, or this city, or this general area. Then that's an additional incentive for you to be like, okay, well, I'm willing to try this dry cleaner. That's not my normal one, but it is in my area, and it's right next to my juice place.
And I just got a coupon, right? I just got a coupon, which we all love a coupon.
Yeah,
totally motivating.
And it's motivating. It's savings during a time of strained budgets. So it's figuring out ways to get creative. So that's why we're creating this initiative at Aggregate Ads, where you can work with other businesses, and we're only going to permit a certain number of businesses per execution, per ad, because we are donating a lot of our time and effort into this to build this as a community. That's our give back type of thing, where we're just covering our minimum in order to execute something like this. But the idea of this all is, whether that sounds of interest to you or not, is how do you get creative about working with other businesses? We're all struggling in this together. We can all succeed in this together, right? Even us as an agency, we're talking about, how do we reach out to other agencies? How do we provide services for other agencies
that
or
they
have
don't
them
have.
provide services for us?
Right. Because, right. And one of the things too is we were saying Carlos is going to be on a call with a local Chamber of Commerce. Did I tell you that today? And it's a marketing group, and local marketing group, but there's probably 20 agencies that are going to be on. And the reason why it's important to us is finding out what other people, whether they're our competitors or not, but what are other agencies are offering. We know the specialties that we offer that we're very, very good at, and seeing, when they've got a project and they don't do media buying, they just do, digital marketing, and they don't necessarily buy media, we can be their partner on that. They can, if they do social media, and that's their thing, and we need to have a big social media account, we can partner with them. So really us all working together to lift each other up.
And that's the thing, right? Business is evolving. It's going to continue to evolve. And after this is done, it can't be that just the big guys are going to be left, right?
Mhm.
There's going to be a lot of the small guys that are going to have figured out new ways to evolve their business. If anything, those are the guys that are going to succeed the most, because in
Yes.
times of crisis is when people rise, that really put in the effort. It's the time when people rise, and these are the millionaires of the future are being created today.
That's right.
So 10 years from now,
billionaires were made. What's the thing, Carlos? Some of the biggest billionaires are created in a down market.
yeah,
Billionaires.
the biggest growth in billionaires in the United States in its whole history, the biggest growth of billionaires was right after the Great Depression, right? And anytime there is, or the financial crisis, every time there is a crisis of sorts, there is the people that learn from it and that grew from it are the ones that evolve and succeed. So you don't have to wait until the economy is great to become great. That's when it's hardest for you to compete, right?
Right.
These are the times to compete. And the way that I like to wrap it up is just to know that after the Black Plague, you know what period came after the Black Plague?
What
The
was it?
Renaissance.
Ah, the best. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I want to say, for anybody that's interested, that we're launching next week with Aggregate. Well, next week it won't matter because it's an evergreen podcast, but aggregateads.com. And we're targeting different communities. But this, I'll give you the short form of what that looks like, just so you have, if you have $500 you spend on your marketing and we have 10 people on that street, if we're going by street, or 10 people in that area of businesses, they all put in $500. That's $5,000 that we then use as an agency to market your business and all the businesses through digital advertising, targeted marketing. So it's aggregating everybody's resources to reach more, right? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, you're saying
so
it.
So that's what we're looking at, Aggregate Ads. But if you have any information or have any questions, and you're in a different area, you have any ideas, you can email me directly. Certainly, I'll give you my email. It's Dana, DANA at wickedbionic.com. Feel free to just send an email, say where you are, what you're looking for, and happy to chat with you about it.
Yeah, and that's Wicked Bionic, not Wicked Bionics, which a lot of people think. But
I know we have so many people that come to our website, and when I look like what they were searching for, bionics, I'm like, yeah. No technology.
And if your community is not one of the communities that we're starting with, so it's not one of the selected communities we're starting with, reach out to us if you have an interest, because then we'll start creating a list of communities that have interest in participating, and we'll start growing into those communities.
For sure. That's a great idea. Right. Because maybe people on your street and, on your boulevard, in your city, or in your small town need that as well. We're happy to put that together for them. So looking forward to aggregateads.com. Everybody take good care.
Take care.